All right, Chris, as we focus on this Saturday's games, of course, we've got two that factor in, and then we've got the huge one at night. It starts with Iowa State taking on Oklahoma State in Ames, an 11 Central Time local kickoff. Everyone's going to have to get shake the cobwebs and get ready for that one. Later in the day, we, of course, have Kansas State taking on West Virginia for bowl tier factors and placement and that sort of thing. And then it all comes to a head, of course, with TCU and Oklahoma getting together for the conference lead at night.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very good week, starting with the Oklahoma State at Iowa State, both teams coming off a loss. So both teams coming off a kind of Iowa State's game was more disappointing. Oklahoma State's game was just straight exhaustive. So can the Cowboys rally? And they're favored going into Ames, but that one's a coin flip. I don't know what to expect in that one. And then, TCU at Oklahoma, a top 10 matchup. That's going to be a very, very good game. Oklahoma, again, Baker Mayfield talks about how tired he was after Bedlam, and that game just took a lot out of both teams. So can Oklahoma respond, or are they going to get caught coming out kind of flat? And then you look at Kansas and Texas, and, that game certainly got some attention last year with the big win by the Jayhawks. So how does Texas respond? And Kansas is not having a very good year at all. So I think Texas might try to repay a few favors in that one. And then West Virginia at Kansas State. This might be Kansas State's best chance at bowl eligibility because their next two games or after this are pretty tough.
Chris Ross joining us from the land at Grant Gauntlet. You can join him right there on the LGG.com for Big 12 football coverage. As, of course, we head through November toward a pretty fabulous finish, I would guess, culminating in the first Big 12 championship game in quite a while. So this weekend, we've got the games that you just diagnosed, and we've got a situation where despite the mess that has been Big 12 football to a certain extent, and when I say mess, I say it in a positive light, with a number of teams jumping into the fray that we didn't anticipate coming off the narrative preseason that most likely it was a two-horse race between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. But Iowa State jumped in there. West Virginia, of course, some people thought was a dark horse. And, of course, TCU playing better than we expected. But right now it's pretty clear-cut that barring some issues down the stretch for the winner of this game that aren't necessarily anticipated because they've cleared most of the big hurdles, TCU 5-1, Oklahoma 5-1, three teams chasing them that I mentioned at 4-2. So there's been a delineation, and this game's marquee. And we would have to be surprised, I would think, at this point, Chris, that if the winner of this game doesn't go on and win the Big 12 championship, at least gain that number one seed in the championship game.
Yeah, I think the winner of this one is all but in. It would be a very unlikely scenario to play out for the winner of this one not to make it to the championship game. It's really who the winner is going to face that has all of the kind of circumstance around it. Is it going to be, can Oklahoma State get back? Can West Virginia or Iowa State, get into that game? And then, of course, TCU will still kind of be in control of their destiny there. So that will be, it's going to be like, it's a 4-team race for second, and only one team is going to make it. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. But yes, the winner of this one is definitely in the driver's seat.